and welcome back to another video on the rest of the day and to another edition of NXT Out of 10. This week's show featured 3 more qualifying matches for the upcoming NXT title ladder match to crown a new champion for the vacant belt, in addition to an NXT tag team contest. So a lot going on, and we started things off with Ricky Saints, who was on commentary and welcomed us to the show before Hendry's music hit. We went to a shot backstage and it appeared that Drake had taken out Hendry with a chair before they could fight, so Ava was scrambling what to do. We ended up getting the NXT title bout first with Nima and Price taking on Griffin and Sugars. Sugars tried to showboat a little, so Nima threw him across the ring. OTM took control at first, but Griffin tagged in and started brawling with Price. Dark State tried to use some dirty trick with Cutler James at ringside, but OTM never seemed to be at much of a disadvantage because of their overall physical dominance. The match played out exactly how you would expect to. OTM had crowd on their side, and Dark State tried to cheat here and to get an advantage. Even though it wasn't surprising, there was some decent action sprinkled in. Vanity Project showed up and distracted Price, allowing Sugars to pin him while using the ropes for leverage. Hank and Tank also showed up. A huge brawl between Chase and Cullen also got involved, and it ended with Sean Spears and Nico Vance leaving Dark State down and out. Yeah, bit of a chaotic end, but I think there's a lot going on in the tag division at the moment, so I'm not massively against it, and yeah, kind of intrigued to see how it played out. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Next up, it was Jada Parker versus Nikita Lyons. Obviously Parker's first match in a while. Leon's fighting on behalf of Monroe. It's been quite some time since Leon felt like part of the NXT roster, but been making regular appearances on Evolve and main event. Leon's got the first takedown, but Parker came right back at her. It's clear they were evenly matched, but Miss Parker was showing more aggression as she looking to re-establish herself. Leon's had a pretty tough start when she arrived in NXT, but you can't compare her performance then to what it is now. It's clear she's made a lot of improvements. The match could have been more polished, but it was better than expected. Lyons did a good job playing the antagonist who was going to lose to the returning babyface, and Parker scored the win as pretty much expected. So overall, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. As we then moved on to another member of Dark State when Lennox took on Bourne for a spot in the NXT title ladder match. Before heading to the ring, Bourne had a run-in with Ethan Page and Saints backstage. They're both great athletes with big futures in the business, and both men looked like they were taking this opportunity seriously as they locked up to win the match. Lennox didn't have his Dark State allies at ringside, so it was nice seeing him get to show off how much he's learned with no distractions. A fun bout that let both guys shine at different times. Page was watching from ringside and looked impressed with Bourne's aggression. He tried to give one of his belts to Bourne so he could cheat, but the ref saw it and prevented it. Lennox scooped up to get us down to the pin and the win. Bourne ended up laying out Page after the match. It looked like he might go after the North American title since he no longer has a chance at the NXT title, which would be interesting. 7 out of 10. Moving on then to Tavian Heights and Lexis King, who had a backstage confrontation that led to him having a match. King had a quick moment with Uriah Connors backstage before he went to the ring. Heights went right after King when the match started and had him reading. King had a cheat trick and dumped Heights out of the ring to gain the upper hand. Stacks and Grace came out to watch the match but didn't actually get involved. King ended up getting a pretty quick win. He posed with Stacks and Grace, so it looks like they're an official alliance now, which will be interesting, but it did feel a bit rushed. 5 out of 10. Moving on then to Zarya taking on Hale after they had a argument in the locker room, which led to this match. Dane was on commentary to watch the action, and Zarya had a significant side power advantage, but Hale made up for it with speed and chaotic energy. The reason for this match failing contrived. It was nice to see a combination of opponents we haven't seen before. Hale played a good underdog to the powerhouse. They battled for a break into the next segment, but the break happened so early, so the match meant it took a significant portion of the action, which is never ideal. Baxley showed up and attacked Dane. They distracted Zarya long enough for Hale to roll up for the win. Fatal Influence showed up, but they backed off after Zarya took out Hale to win the segment. Overall, I'll give it 5 out of 10. And we then got Carver making his NXT debut, taking on Andre Chase. Chase came out of the gate with a pair of kicks to the face, but Carver brushed him off and cornered him for some shoulder thrusts. There was a glorified squash match designed to make him look like a monster. He got enough offense to keep this being completely one-sided, but the outcome was obvious. Carver is still green and needs time to improve. This wasn't the worst debut we've ever seen. He slammed Chase onto the announce table before rolling back into the ring and power slam to get the win. Overall, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I mean, yeah, it looks like a monster, but where do we go from here is the question. The competitors for next week's NXT title match though ended the show in the ring, talking about why each one of them would win, and then it looks like the only one worth talking about was Bourne v Lennox in terms of the match on this show. Everything else kind of fell short or was too uneventful. The show may have done some legwork setting up next week's show, but yeah, that was about it. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.